everyone. This is a quick announcement for the community page, and I want Renee here to tell us all about it. So here she is.
And thank you, Sheila, for allowing me to invite myself over to your place to do this. I'm just kind of going around the community right now. We've made some updates on our tarotlovecommunity.net website. So going around and talking about the newest updates for that. But I'm going to start out by reading our mission statement. And this is very much the heart of the matter of what this community center is meant to be and what it means to me. So we are human beings working in communion to spread love and spiritual learning. We are creating and cultivating a safe place where ideas can be freely exchanged towards the growth of knowledge, understanding, compassion, and unconditional love. We are a central hub available 24/7 where community members can come together, find comfort and support in all the challenges and opportunities of humanity. We will use our skills, knowledge, and gifts as a force to call in the highest good for our planet and her citizens, as well as help and uplift the members of our collective soul tribe. We are an extraordinarily extended family built on a foundational culture of gratitude, sharing, giving back, and paying it forward. And then the primary thing that I wanted to let everybody know about is, of course, we have our registered members where you can go in and find, Celtic Sheila is one of our members. So if you wanted to know how to reach out to her or how to get to her channel, anything like that, that's available on there under our registered members. And they fall into categories of readers and teachers, healers and energy workers, and creators and shopkeepers. So you don't have to be a tarot reader to be a registered member. The registered members have provided information through the form that shares as much or as little as they would like to, and gives me permission to basically say nice things about you guys. The newest thing that we have that I'm excited about is we're offering a new paid membership on tarotlovecommunity.net. And that is, I'm calling it our Backstage Pass. I have, it's all the same content that's available, but I know that memberships are a crowded space out there. So I set up 3 different price levels depending on what you're able to contribute on a monthly basis. So it's either $222, $555, or $999. And that'll get you access to exclusive content on tarotlovecommunity.net. So as of right now, the exclusive content is what I'm calling infographics from our Learning Lunation series. So everything that we've learned about the new moons, the full moons, the crystals, the moon water, everything we've collected and discovered so far this year. So right now there's about 3 dozen of those out there. And then I'll be adding additional content later, like a blog and things like that. So please go check it out. There's a bulletin board that you're able to use with all kinds of different categories where you can touch base with other people, find practice partners, or we've got a daily card pull that Katie Moonchild's World posts for us. Yeah, we're just growing and expanding, and I'm excited about it and excited to be able to share this with everyone. And of course, I'm always available at tarotlovecommunity@gmail.com for any questions, any comments, any suggestions. A lot of the bulletin board categories were suggested by community members. And I'm just excited that we finally have a nice platform. I've been working on this for about 2 years now. I feel like we finally got a nice foundation to really, really start building on. So we're at about 550 site members. We've got do believe we're at 100 registered members now, and we're working our way from 1,500 to 2,000 on the YouTube channel. So all of that is available. Um, and that's the big exciting news that I have to share.
Oh my gosh, people. Welcome back to my channel. Do I have a treat for you? As you can see, I have Aiden here. And Aiden is one of our younger up and coming what psychic, what do we want to call you?
I
Tarot
would just
reader.
say, I would just say like very intuitive person, child.
There you go. There you go. And so what we have here today is he has been getting downloads. And I remember being young at heart and being young in this metaphysical world and not really having a platform or even the ability to trust what I was getting downloading. And all of a sudden, years later, I'm like, I remember thinking that. I remember doing that. And so I too know that it's kind of scary to put out, what's been going on with you on the downloads on this. So Aiden is braver than I have ever been, and he's going to literally tell us the things that he has been downloaded, and they're very, very interesting. He's gonna, give us a little background as he tells us, and then at the end, so stay here all the way to the end because he has a couple of them that we're going to read cards on. Some of his predictions and things like that. I call it maybe like a remote viewing or psychic seeing or whatever the word is, right? We don't know what to call it much anymore. Channeling, that's another word, as we do. But when you are open to the energies of the world, information comes to us all, and some are able to interpret what it says, and some are able to interpret in something else. So that's the reason why sometimes he would get something, I wouldn't. They get something, I wouldn't. Is because it's all in the interpretation and the ability to read it. And sometimes I just don't have the missing parts of doing that. So anyways, onwards. I get off my
Yeah, I think it's like going to the museum and seeing like pictures of art. Like you're gonna walk in there, but someone's gonna take away something that you don't. Like
Mhm.
you're all gonna look at the same picture, but someone's gonna go home with something that you didn't see, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even interpret that picture in that way. And that's what a lot of us on here try to do. Like we all get like similar messages, similar pictures, and some of us piece it together very differently. And you know I think that's very cool that we can all
Yes.
do that.
That's a perfect way of putting that. I like that analogy where, well, in police work, they have like 50 people who witness something, and all 50 of them have a different story sometimes. Basically the same, but a little, it's tweaked a little. So yeah, I get that. All right. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is hand it over to Aiden. For one, tell us what you've been up to, what's been going on your channel, and then we'll get to your list that you have. So what's been going on?
Well, I've been taking a break just because I moved into my college dorm room and I'm basically drowning in school, um, and work because I also have a job. Um, but I wanted to come here. I wanted to read with Sheila because she's one of my favorite people on this platform, and I just feel safe and I really trust her. She'll probably like insert a photo of us together, but yeah, but yeah, I wanted to come on here just because a few weeks ago or like a week ago, I like had a moment. I was in meditation and a lot of things were coming to me. Normally on my channel, I don't really read on like politics, but I got a lot of political predictions that came to me. And how I get these things is sometimes I like see the picture in my third eye, but it's like a metaphor. Um, like sometimes the picture could actually mean like exactly what the picture is supposed to mean, or it's like a deeper message that I have to like delve deeper into. And I thought that Sheila is a great person to do that with. Um, the other way I get these things is like feeling. Like shivers, like the chills, is one confirmation for me. Like when I'm reading on something and I get the chills, I'm just like, oh, that's creepy. Like that's the confirmation. Um, but all of these things that I wrote down are gonna happen in the next 5 years. And just remember that time is
Or
constantly
less.
moving. Yeah, or less, or less. Like it could happen in a month. But things are constantly moving and changing. Time is, and there's like multiple timelines out there. So, um, do you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. And just
Okay.
remember and remind everybody to stay till the end again. Aiden and I are going, I think we picked out 4 of them. We're going to do some cards on. So stay.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute myself while he talks because I don't want to disturb him. So go for it, honey.
Number one. So the first thing that I saw was a volcanic eruption. And as I was seeing this, I was like, oh, it's a volcano. How fun. Where's this gonna be? And the first like place that came to my mind was Peru. And I know is that in Latin America or South America? I don't know. But I just like saw a volcano in Peru in the next 2 years. Number two, healthier fast food with non-GMO modified products. So I saw like a bunch of fast food places popping up in competition with fast food places like McDonald's or Burger King or something like that. And they're gonna have a lot of competition in the next few years because it's gonna be like good food, but it's gonna be good for you as well. Number three, I saw a lot of teachers being happy. So I saw a classroom full of smiling faces. And what came out of this was I think that, you know, the Biden administration is going to do something like really helpful to teachers. Maybe he's going to give them more budget for their classrooms, but I feel like he's going to increase their pay. And that's been coming. They definitely need that, and that's all coming within the next 5 years. Number four, the next thing I saw was a cruise ship, and it was sinking. Cruise ships these days have a bunch of safety vessels that can take everybody out. So hopefully nobody's gonna be on it. But I just saw a cruise ship going down, and I feel like it's gonna be a warm place, warm and sunny, just like in the sea, warm and sunny. And I just saw it just like the Titanic, just like going down. Hopefully that does not happen. I don't wanna predict that, but that's what I saw. And I saw that happening within the next 5 years. Number five. This one's weird because I just saw zookeepers petting some giraffes. And then I thought, oh my gosh, are these giraffes okay? Is something wrong with these giraffes? And immediately, I got that within a few years, zoologists are gonna determine that there's a disease going around between giraffes. And it's gonna really cause people that care about the environment, people that care about the giraffes to kind of scramble and be like, oh my gosh, we need to save these giraffes. We need to, and I think it's gonna be trending on Twitter, hashtag save the giraffes. Like I can already see it. So I'm sending my love out to the giraffes. Number six. This is a good one, guys. I predict that in the next 5 years, we will see the first signs of reemergence for the Great Barrier Reef. I feel like marine biologists or whoever deals with all that stuff are going to be like, oh my gosh, this patch was not living the other day. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, did it grow back? So I feel like it's going to be very slow, but we're going to start seeing the first signs of reemergence. And that is so exciting because the Great Barrier Reef and all the coral reefs out there really help the animals. And like it plays a major part in the ocean and the environment. Seven, the next thing I got was great big change in the UK monarchy. This one's very interesting because I'm not going to get into what I think will happen the next few years with the whole monarchy. That's like a whole separate video. But I did see Canada leaving the British Commonwealth. And that can be that can be from a variety of reasons. But I just think that I really don't know. I just saw like Canada just saying peace out and leaving the Commonwealth and just like really asserting its dominance without the help of the UK. Number 8, I got fires. Fires, 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 fires. I just saw a bunch of fires. And part of it's going to be from global warming because it's real. I just saw like houses, trees, a bunch of things on fire. And some places that I got were like really dry places. I got Australia, California, British Columbia. Those were the 3 places that I got. So healing and prayers out to the animals, the people that are out there. Number 9, the next thing I got was the US housing market crash. And, I don't really know anything about housing markets, but I just saw like a house and then a little like downward spiral arrow. Like it's kind of like an emoji. That's how I viewed that one. And I just saw like people being able to buy houses for less than they would buy them today. Like if a mansion's out here for $10 million, I feel like maybe that's gonna be like way less than 10 million in the next few years. So that's great for me because I needed an apartment. I don't want to live in this 100-year-old dorm anymore. Number 10, I saw more COVID variant cases in China.
Yeah.
This kind of goes with number 11. I saw that we're going to really find out what happened in China with COVID, like how it came to be. We're really going to find out like the exact details of this because there's a lot of speculation out there. And, I think we're really going to find out that China created COVID because they wanted to use it in a germ war. I feel like they're going to start, like, they have started testing these, like, germs. And I feel like I think that they really want to be prepared. I don't really know how else to put this, but like I feel like they're really gonna they were really trying to create a disease to wipe out their enemies. And I feel like that's what COVID was. And I think it accidentally got leaked or accidentally got out there. So we're gonna see like the exact details of how and why COVID got out there. Number 12, I saw a whole safe full of pennies. This could mean 2 different things. Like, since pennies are out of production in the United States, maybe it's like keep your pennies. They'll be rare in like 100 years, and people in the future will be like, "Oh my gosh, is that a penny? I saw that in the textbook."
So pennies, you think that the penny thing is it like a suitcase of pennies or
I saw like a safe, like a safe with like a lock, and like that represents to me like save it, like keep it safe. Maybe that can just be like money, like save your money because who knows what's going to happen to the stock market in the next 5 years. But that's basically how I'm interpreting that image that I got. The next quest, the next thing I got was I feel like 75% of people on Earth are going to have a online presence. So whether that's having a social media account or just having your picture up on the internet, I feel like in the next year, it's going to be like 75% of people on Earth are going to be online. The next thing I got was California being the first state in the United States to ban the sale of fur. And, that's great. We should always like protect our animals, to never wear real fur. So I'm proud of California. Go California. The next thing I saw was more houses with solar panels. I saw like rows and rows and rows of houses just having solar panels. And maybe that's like a new cost effective way to, get the electricity.
I think Texas should really, really invest in that. All anybody and everybody in Texas, that may be the only saving grace they have through power grids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely I see a lot of solar panels like being popular. I feel like it's gonna be like a new trend. Everybody's gonna have one. Everybody and their dog. So the next one I got, I didn't tell Sheila this one, but I saw like a laboratory and I saw like beakers of white fluid. And I think that scientists are gonna start trying to grow milk in the laboratories. Like they're gonna try doing lab grown milk instead of getting it from animals. I feel like that's like a very big thing that's coming up in like the food industry. Like people are gonna start like buying non-animal milk. I don't know if people are like vegan and they don't want to hurt the animals. Like there you go. There's an option for you now instead of having to like drink almond milk or coconut milk. Like I don't think they're gonna like call it lab grown milk because that sounds scary. I would not put that anywhere in my body. But uh I think that they're gonna start like growing milk. And I know that sounds very weird, but it'll probably make sense when it comes out. The next thing I got was I saw a picture of the Vatican on fire. And that can mean two different things. Maybe it actually does. So stay safe, Vatican. Or the Pope could be under fire for what he says or what he does.
Or the
I think that
church.
it's yeah, the church. I think that whatever happens, it could go two ways, but I think that something that that community does or something that the Pope does will really come under fire. The next thing that I got was a bunch of floods. I wrote this down like a few weeks ago, and it's already happening. In Florida. Prayers to everybody that lives in Florida. But I saw a bunch of floods, and I saw that cities that were once safe, just water like creeping up, like creepy, creepy, creepy water, like just creeping up. And I think that it's going to like there's going to be a lot more pressure on uh people that work with technology to help keep people safe from all these waters. Because in Florida, we saw like videos of streets being flooded, and like I saw one video where there's like a little shark swimming in the street, like next to a stop sign. I'm just like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna keep all these people safe from the water and the scary sharks? Because I have a deep phobia of sharks. Anyways, that's not prediction. The next thing I got was this winter is going to be a very brutal winter. Like they say, and I think it's Game of Thrones, winter is coming. So I saw like a lot of like I just saw a lot of people shivering, like just cold. But I think it's going to be a major, a few years ago in Texas, we had a very bad cold where everything froze. My pool in my backyard froze, and I was able to walk over it. And in Texas, that's unheard of. And people's pipes are bursting in their house because their pipes were like frozen and they're bursting. So I feel like that's hopefully that won't happen again, but I feel like it's gonna get to that point this winter. So make sure you buy a nice pair of gloves and stock up some wood for your fireplace because it's gonna be a chilly winter. The next prediction I got. This one's very interesting to me because I love technology. I think that it's one of the things that I'm good at. There's not a lot of those things. Anyways, I got that basically there's going to be a new way to communicate. So, we have emails, we have like written letters, we have FaceTime and text and call. I think there's going to be something that comes out that's like, oh my gosh, this is a new way to talk to my best friend that lives across the country or across the world. I feel like it's going to be a new thing that comes out. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to stop texting and stop calling and use this method. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like I couldn't see anything, but I just felt like there's going to be something new that comes out of this. The next thing I got. This kind of goes back to what I was saying about the fires, but specifically in Australia. I think it was a few years ago we had bad, bad, bad fires in Australia. And again, I see this happening. I just saw a bunch of animals running away, like, and then fire, like, coming behind them. And, obviously, I don't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen, especially for the animals, for the people that live there. So we just need to, like, work harder. People on both sides of the Republican and Democrat spectrum need to work harder into, like, going green. And even if that means like not using plastic, not like turning off your lights when you're not in the room. Anything can help, you know? So that is most of my predictions. And then in a few minutes, we're going to get into these and read on some of these very important ones that I haven't mentioned yet.
Okay, so now we have saved back a few that we're going to throw some cards onto. So which one is up first, Aiden?
The first one, the first major topic we'll be reading on is that something drastic is going to happen in Zimbabwe, and the Zimbabwe government that is going to have a major effect on surrounding African countries.
Okay, let's do it.
I first saw this. I first saw this as, Zimbabwe is a heavy mining country, like miners, like people are going to be mining. And I feel like I saw like a picture of them just like rioting, just like putting their shovels in the air and being like, we can't take this anymore. And I feel like that's going to cause a problem in the government. And I feel like that's going to,
Maybe a fatal,
shake up.
maybe a fatal problem in the government is what you're thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. In Zimbabwe. And then it's going to affect all surrounding countries in Africa. So let's see what we get from that.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go what I got, and then you can finish up with what you got, because being that this is what you see.
Yeah.
I literally got the devil as a representation of the whole situation, like the devil. All of the things are going on over there. Fatalities, efforts, violence, revenge. It was something. And then I have over top of that is the Hierophant, which is society, the marriage, the alliance, the captivity. So coming into the situation, because I did a Celtic cross, is self-development. Self-development meaning that they're trying to better themselves. And this is kind of coming into the situation. And we also have the High Priestess and the mystery in the future. And then we have on top of it is wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, and abundance. And this is what they're thinking. This is what everybody sees, that they're trying to gain money, gain money, gain money. But going forward is the Magician, like something, diplomacy happens. And then we have, this could also be sickness, and this could be all with, with the Magician, where they're playing for power. somebody's, in there playing with power. And then a new idea emerges. A new idea emerges and looking forward to the future. It buddied up with the chariot, so moving forward as well. And then I got the Page of Pentacles, meaning that they have to drop down and begin again. Drop down and begin, and then the Knight of Cups, which is that creativity and that charm and that imagination happening. So I kind of see it. So what do you got?
So I got the first card I got was the Knight of Swords. And this is something, you know, it reminds me of like of a little bit of a battle. Someone riding on their horse with their sword. And, you know, this is going to be a popular thing, like overthrow. I feel like that's going to be like the word in people's heads in Zimbabwe, like overthrow, overthrow. And it's going to be coming from, the more, liberal people out there because they want to change the government and they want to do what's best for the people. And I feel like they're gonna be like, we're gonna have to overthrow this. Like, this is not going well for us. And for the government, I got the King of Swords reversed. I kind of see this as like the government, like the leader, the person in charge. Like, you're gonna do this one way and you're gonna like it. And the government's gonna have, like, the president or the government, whoever's in charge, is going to have to really be prepared because I don't think they're prepared right now. I think they're just living their lives like in their mansions, just like having a great time. And I feel like there are workers, miners that are like doing their best to make a living and they're going to be ready to do some damage. And the next thing I get is the Six of Swords. This is all about transition. So something happening that is like cause and effect. Something happens and then this happens. So I really do think that they're going to try to overthrow things. And um, I I hope that they're successful because I do see that it's going to be good. I get the victory card. And, it's going to really help people that are, Five of Pentacles struggling for money out there. And, I really do think that it's going to work. I think it's going to work. I think that the miners out there are going to, get paid more, whoever is in charge after this happens. I think that they're going to pay them more. And I think that everything's going to be getting better from there after that. But I see a lot of things happening in Africa where it's like, oh, Zimbabwe, is having a civil war. I think we should do that because we're getting treated unfairly. And I think it's going to spread throughout Africa. But yeah, that's what I get.
Fantastic. So what is the next one?
The next reading we're going to read on is Donald Trump's demise. And, with this one, I kind of saw like, those Russian doll things. And I love it how I said the word Russia because we all know who he's in cahoots with. But I saw like Russian dolls, like kind of like the opposite. So like small, 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 big, 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 big things are going to come out. I feel like the courts, whoever's looking into all this Donald Trump stuff, is going to find something small and be like, oh, he did that. That's not good. And they're going to find something bigger that's like, oh, how do we not notice this? How did he get away with this? And then they're going to find something bigger, like, oh my gosh, did he really do this? Like behind the scenes, did he do this? It's going to be like a Russian doll, like small, big, big, big. And it's going to end up with him, you know, paying a lot of money. And then I feel like it's going to take a toll on his health as well in the next 2 years. So we can read on that.
Okay. Let's read on. Let's see what would be the. So what is his demise? I guess is the question. It says, what does Trump's demise looks like? Mm. Well, well, well. You know, I have his personality shows up for sure. Gossip, envy, jealousy, um, you know, negative thoughts, self-imposed restrictions, imprisonments, victim mentality, all of that shows up. And then I get the deadline, timeout, tick tock, deadline, timeout with him. I also get the social media hiding. For some reason, the social media shows up and something hiding in there, or a tragedy comes through social media. Something about social media and him really, really is connected. And I know that his truth social might tank and all that, but I don't feel like this is it. I think this is like all of this media stuff just overwhelms him so dang much that, you know, timeout, deadline, TikTok on all of these, and then silenced. And then silence. We finally get silence in this country real soon, really. Like he's on the verge. I mean, the verge is here. So, what'd you get?
Yeah, and I saw this all happening within the next 2 years. So it could be sooner than that. It could be by the end of this year and the next year, but I just saw the number two when I was reading on this. And, what I'd say in 2020, Trump had this image of himself, and I'll show you that image. This is the image he thought of himself. He thought he was the great emperor, the ruler of the great United States of America. But in this reading, I drew it upside down. And the emperor reversed is all about like someone trying to question authority. And we are seeing that in the courts right now. Trump is being like, oh my gosh. I'm not going to do an impression of Trump, but Trump's basically trying to um, go around the system like he's been doing for years and years and years. He's trying to I even see him like trying to bribe his way through the course. He's been doing that for years anyways. So basically, someone trying to question the authority, someone being like, I was president of the United States and you can't do anything to me because I was president. And, it's not going to work out well for him. I also, yeah, oh my gosh. I get the Queen of Cups reversed and the Ace of Cups reversed. This is someone at their wits' end. Someone that has had enough of everything. Like someone that's very emotionally drained. Like a vampire just came and got all their emotions out of them and they're sitting in a chair. That's what I see. Like just Trump like that. Like a deep sigh. So I think that is like his sign of like he's giving up. He's giving up. And like these past few years, this has been Trump just lounging in a chair, just watching America burn down. And, you know, that's not great, right? He's just been watching everything go down. But now things are building. We have this house under construction. And I would say, like, when this house is finished, it's going to look like a graveyard of his career. And and basically, it's not going to go well for him. I see tears, crying. The only emotion he's going to have is sadness, fear, nothing good. And I see him living on an island, not physically, but like being isolated from everybody he loves, throwing his friends under the bus, island. So that's what I get for Donald Trump.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
I know I just spilled all the tea, didn't I?
Yeah, it couldn't happen to a better man, let me tell you. So who do we have next?
The next thing we are going to read on is I saw, people building walls around cities that get earthquakes. And I feel like these are going to be like very technologically advanced walls that are going to be able to bounce the vibrations of earthquakes and direct them into different locations. So like if you have an earthquake going to a big, big city, and that city has these earthquake walls, it's going to reflect the vibration and send them somewhere else throughout the city. And I think that if you actually look this up and see if this is happening around the world, um, it's already starting to happen. It just needs to like be built. Like all the blueprints are out there. It just needs to actually be built and be done. So I think that, you know, all these places that get earthquakes, they're going to start, trying to really prevent it from causing a lot of damage. And I think that it'd be a good idea to read on it and see if it's going to help at all.
Okay, so you're thinking that you predict that a lot of our cities who gets earthquake are gonna start building earthquake walls. And the theory behind these walls is when the earthquake hits, that that shaking is going to go up the wall and then travel outside of the city somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. So like if you have a big city like Los Angeles and it gets an earthquake, I feel like these walls, and I see them like being maybe halfway underground and halfway out up of the ground because all earthquakes happen in the
How
ground.
tall do you see them be? Or are they just walls that blend in with the city?
I think it's gonna be walls that blend in with the city. I don't think it's gonna be like a big wall. Like oh goodness, why is Trump keep on popping in my mind? It's not gonna be a big wall. Don't worry, no more walls, guys. No big walls. But
Right.
I see, I think it's gonna be halfway underground. I think the biggest part of the wall is gonna be underground. And I think it's gonna help. So let's see.
Well, that's interesting. I literally got I got denial, not facing the truth, right? That's how it is with with science sometimes. But then I got an interview, like they're finally recognizing this technology, and then I got grip, anchor, chains weighed down. So the desire for it to happen and the signs are there, the synchronicity, um, the chemistry. It's on the verge, about to reveal. Archangel, protection, wow, of the city, and escape, detection, escape, and escape of the, wow. And then focused, focusing on the shaking and the destruction. Wow. I am
Yeah,
not no scientist, so I cannot figure that out in my head. But yeah, it does look like there is some sort of technology that exists at this moment that they may, at some point in time, start turning towards. That's pretty cool. What do you get?
definitely. I got that, it might cost a lot of money. I get the magician reversed, lacking resources to build these things. Um, and then the page of wands reversed, always starting these, walls, but never being able to finish them. So hopefully, they're going to be starting to build them. I don't know if they're going to actually like go through with it. I hope they do. And, you know, I feel like people are going to be opposed to this. With the two of swords reversed, there's always two different sides. One that's like, yeah, let's spend our tax money on this that can really help our city. And the other side that's like, oh my gosh, this is not going to help the earthquakes like disappear. Like we're still going to have earthquakes. But I really think that it's going to help, but it's going to send the earthquakes in a different direction. So like no one gets hurt. And I get the three of wands. I think it's going to work out. Three of wands, making momentum, making progress. And, we might see this in every city that has earthquakes, in the next 50 years. And I also got watchdog. People are going to be watching them build this and be like, what is that? What is that? That looks weird. Why are they building that there? And guess what? Bulldozer, construction, and then magnet. This has to do with like the vibrations and the tectonic plates shifting. And just the wall. Like I don't even know the science behind it. How would they even do it?
I don't
But this
know.
is what I get for that.
Wow, they probably found out something. They probably, with all of the technology with the earthquakes and learning about the earthquakes, and that's been happening for many a years. that they have found something that goes, wow, why did that happen? And that's how it was built. That's how it was thought of. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I really do appreciate if you've made it this far. Please go show Aiden some love on his channel for sure. And this probably will be my last video until I get to Sicily.
It's a nice video to end on. Like you have all these
Exactly.
predictions, and in like 5 years you can look back and be like, oh my gosh, they were right. They were right about this.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a little bit of traveling videos, but you know, my people are interested in politics, not traveling.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Something that